Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championship.
Gian, many congratulations through to your first World Championship quarter-final. How good does that feel?
Undescribable. You know, I'm really happy with this win, of course, and I didn't play it as well as I can today, but it still feels really good to outscore him today. A lot more 180s than the previous game. I discussed the way my darts were landing in the board in the previous game. Today was a lot better. That shows how many 180s I could have hit today, and yeah, really pleased with this performance.
You said you weren't at your best, an average of almost 99. Are you starting to feel more and more at home on this stage now?
Yeah, 100%. You know, the first game is always going to be nervous when I played Crystal Reyes, especially before the tournament. Everyone's putting pressure on me. You haven't won a game before here, so it's about time. And once I got through that game, I felt more and more comfortable on that stage, as I did today. So yeah, even for my feeling, not hitting my A game as far yet in this game, still winning 98 average, good double percentage. Yeah, I'm really pleased.
And Kevin Dukes or Luke Humphries in the quarterfinals. If it is Luke, you've got a great record against him in 2025. How much of an impact could that have, and how much belief will that give you?
For myself, it would be a confidence boost going into that game, of course. But you know, the World Championship is a different tournament to any other tournament. Even if I was 9-0 down, it would have been a totally different game for myself. So, yeah, I know I can beat him on the highest pressure possible for myself, as you've seen in the European Championship final. But you know, the World Championship quarterfinal is a different animal, and I'm going to be ready for that game. Hopefully, I can bring my A game because it's going to be necessary.
Thanks, Gian. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank
you
you,
don't
Phil.
give too much away on stage, but the 1-3-2 seemed to mean something special to you. Like we got the beat of the chest, the actual walk over towards the family area. What made that so special? Because that's unlike you, shall we say?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I was feeling comfortable, but not as comfortable. I was hoping. You know, I felt really good, but I wasn't able to shake him off. In the first, you know, especially the second set, I missed 3 darts, a double 10 to go 2-1 up and break his throw, and I was a bit like, I wasn't happy with that when I walked off stage in the second break, and I said to myself, okay, just kick on now. And especially the 1-3-2 finish to go 2-1 up in sets, it gave me a massive confidence boost going into the rest of the game. And you know, especially to hit that 1-3-2 finish champagne shot against Champagne Charlie Manby, it's always going to be nice. But you know, that bullseye, of course, it was a bit blocked to step to the left to hit that bullseye. I needed something. I needed to let it out of me and to celebrate that good shot, because I was feeling maybe a little bit nervous at that point.
Previous winners and players say if you come back after the new year, that's when you start dreaming and thinking of winning this. Is that the same for you now? Is the title and the trophy in sight with only 3 games to go now?
Yeah, I think so. Of course, you know, before when I got back after Christmas, everyone was talking about maybe lifting that title, but I said, you know, it's only the last 32 now. You're into the quarterfinals now, so maybe when you're in the quarterfinals, you start dreaming about lifting that title. But so many great players left in this tournament. It's going to be very, very difficult to get even through to the final. But I'm really looking forward to it. You know, my confidence is sky high, feeling comfortable on that stage, even not performing the way I'm hoping to or wanting to, just to feel really good and beating my opponents. That's the most confidence boost I can give myself. And yeah, as I said, I'm really looking forward to the quarterfinals in the new year.
You've previously said you wouldn't class yourself as one of the elite. Now, a major win, World Championship quarterfinal, and you are number 5 in the world now in the provisional rankings. Surely that mindset has to change now, doesn't it?
Maybe. Not for myself. I was always, as long as I'm not world champion and world number 1, I'm not going to call myself one of the elite players, because it's gone so quick this year. You know, at the start of this year, I was number 28, 29 in the world, so I'm not going to call myself one of the elite players. But you know, maybe in a couple of days I would be in the World Championship final. Then I will be happy to call myself one of the elite players. But so far, I'll keep my feet on the ground and just say I'm a decent player. Thank you.
Gian, congratulations.
Thank you.
I think you're being quite hard on yourself. You're averaging 100 for the tournament, and you're still not sort of totally happy with where your game's at. Does that just show how well you are playing at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. Of course, I'm happy with the game I've been playing so far. Last game against Madagascar, I said to everyone I wasn't happy with the way my darts landed in the board. Today I was a lot more satisfied with that, and that shows last game was just a one-off. And I shouldn't be even thinking about that anymore. So today I felt a lot better. Scoring-wise was a lot better, a lot more 180s, but you know, it was a bit up and down. As I hit a 180, next visit was either another 180 or 58 or 60. So I've been practicing really well, and I think it can be a lot better. But even, yeah, as you said, not being 100% satisfied, still average 100 for the tournament, I can't be really complaining.
Do you really fancy the 60 grand for the 9 dart prize as well? You had a few cracks there tonight.
That's why 2 times a crack, yeah. Of course, you know, when you're here and Paddy Power puts up 60 grand for the player on the 9 darts, as soon as you get to those 2 180s, and especially in this venue, the crowd is so loud, and so if you start a leg with a 180 and the 4th dart gets into treble 20 as well, everyone's celebrating already. Like, it's only 4 darts into the 9, but as soon as you hit the second 180, I was nervous, you know, for the 141. Of course, you want to hit the 9 darts on that bigger stage, but you know, 60 grand is also nice. But you know, both legs, at least I won, so that's the most important part.
And as it stands, Michael van Gerwen 2-0 down to Gary Anderson. Kevin Dutz has got a tough game against Luke Humphries tonight. You could be the only Dutchman left in the tournament by the end of the night.
Yeah, it would be a shame for all the Dutch people that there's only one in the quarterfinal. But you know, it's happened a couple of times this year. There was only Dutchman left in the tournament, but I wasn't expecting to be the only Dutchman left in the World Championship at the start of the tournament. But you know, if that's the case, then that's the case. You know, of course I want Michael to do well, Kevin Dutz to do well, but I'm only focusing on my own game, and you know, hopefully I'll get through to the next round. Thank you.
Gian, well done on the win. I think as you was talking to Phil there, you had a glance over at the screen when Gary went 2-0 up. When you get a match-up like this, 2 heavyweights, do the players still take notice and maybe watch it just a little bit more, especially when you're all competing for the World Championship?
I was looking at the game, not as a dart player, but as a dart fan. You know, even though I'm still in the tournament, and maybe if I beat Luke Humphries or Kevin Dutz in the quarterfinal, I'm going to play one of those guys in the semis. But I'm not looking at, I want to play Michael, I want to play Gary in the semi-final. I was just looking at this game as a dart fan, and as a Dutchman. You know, I'm always going to be a Michael van Gerwen fan, but everyone knows I'm a Gary Anderson fan. So to see him doing well this tournament again, it's fantastic to see. So yeah, I was looking at this result, 2-0 up. Yeah, it's a great game so far.
I know we've briefly touched on it before in other interviews, but what would it mean if you was to rise to become the #1 Dutchman? Because it has been Michael for so long, and he's always going to be talked about still. Yep. But you know, if he goes out a few more wins, you could be the #1 ranked Dutchman on the planet.
Surreal. I think that's the word to put it. You know, as a Dutchman, you always know, especially growing up, you always know. I always knew Michael van Gerwen is going to be the Dutch #1. Raymond van Barneveld is most likely going to be the Dutch #2, and we'll see where we can go. Now, Raymond, of course, is a bit dropped off the rankings. He's got so many great players, but to be the Dutch #2 so far in the rankings now is already a massive win for myself. And I'm not even looking at the Dutch #1, because even if Michael loses the game and I'm going to overtake him on the rankings, I think everyone in Holland is always going to be naming Michael van Gerwen as the Dutch #1.
I mean, you're still so young. You don't have a lot of experience. Do you feel ready to be a world champion, not just winning the trophy, but everything that comes with it, the media that you've got to do, the spotlight, obviously get into the Premier League, because you're only, what, 23, is it?
23, yeah. Yeah, I feel ready for that stuff. You know, of course, before this tournament, I got a lot of media exposure. Winning the European Championship, but got a lot of media exposure. But of course, as world champion, it's going to be even more media. But I think I'll be ready for that. I think, of course, being young, 23 years old, to see where my game is at the moment, I'll be ready to be a world champion. And if it happens, it happens. If not, I'm already having a successful world championship so far. But I don't think I won't be ready to get all that kind of exposure now.
Thank you, Shane. Well done today.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jan.
Thank you, Paul.
Was the loss of the second set a bit of a kick up the backside for you? Because you seemed to really kick on after that.
100%. You know, I missed 1 dart at tops, 3 darts at double 10 to go 2-1 up on that set and break his throw. I lost that set because the next leg I was probably a bit complaining about the missed darts at double, and I walked off that stage and I was like, okay, maybe everyone thinks he deserved that set, but in my head, I think I deserved that set, because that's what you need to think as a dart player. So I walked off that stage, give myself a kick up the butt. It's like, okay, kick on from now, just show what you like and outscore him, hit some good checkouts, and that's what I did in the rest of the game. Yeah, I'm really pleased to have done that.
And what's the reaction been like back in Holland? And, you know, do you feel the weight of expectation of people, you know, expecting you to go really far in this tournament?
Yeah, 100%. Of course, everyone before the tournament, they were all talking about me not winning a game ever here in the World Championship. I've done that in the first game, and then afterwards it's like, okay, you've crossed that barrier now. Let's see how far you can go. We're all, you know, before the tournament I was world number 10, so we were all expecting you to at least get to the last 16. But as soon as the seeded players in my quarter went out, they were all expecting me to play Luke Humphries in the last 8. So it's always going to bring extra pressure, but I think I've dealt with it really well so far, and hopefully I can continue to do that.
And you said in your on-stage interview that you're into the quarterfinals and everything else is a bonus now. Does that make you a more dangerous player because you don't feel, you know, as much pressure as many other players in this tournament?
100%. I think so far I've been massive favourite in every game I played so far. If Luke Humphries will win against Kevin Newt, he's going to be the favourite, so I'm going to be the underdog. And I think everyone knows, I've said it in many more interviews, I like to be in the underdog position. So the quarterfinals, all the pressure is going to be on him. I'm going to just enjoy that game, see if I can punish him in some kind of sets, and just see how far we can go. And you know, if that happens, then maybe I've got a shot at getting into the semi-finals. But you know, Luke Humphries got a game against Kevin Newt coming up, and it's going to be very difficult for him. But we'll see where we can go. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just now, talk about your age. You are already one of the youngest players this time, and your opponent today even younger than you. You probably the youngest pair for this time. Yeah. Do you feel more relaxed?
A little bit. You know, I think for me, I played Charlie once on the development tour, so I know what he's capable of. I know what he's been doing on the development tour. I've followed his career, his year so far. But you know, for me, it's new to be one of the older players on stage. You know, it's only happened when I play Luke Littler, and otherwise I'm the younger player on stage. So it was a bit different. But you know, Charlie's a fantastic player. He's shown at this tournament so far. But luckily, the experience got me through this game today.
But next time, next round won't be easy. If you can choose, who would you rather face? You told me last time Gary is your idol.
Yeah.
But Van Goven is national #1 in your country. So.
Quarterfinal, I'd rather play Kevin Newt than Luke Humphries, of course. But then afterwards, you know, being a Dutchman, it would always be nice for the country itself to have Michael van Goven in the latter stages of the tournament. But yeah, as you said, I'm a massive Gary Anderson fan, so I always want to see him doing well. He's done that so far this tournament. He's played very, very well against Connor Scott and against Jermaine Watsamina. So it's a cracking game so far. I'm kind of looking at that game at the moment. It's going really well, but you know, as soon as I beat Luke Humphries or Kevin Newt in the quarterfinals, I don't care who I play in the semi-final. You know, as a Dutchman or even as a Gary Anderson fan, I'm only looking at my own game, and I want to get to the final.
So, what's your plan for tomorrow? Rest, fun, or training?
Rest, yeah, rest, of course. You know, I'm going to take a day off tomorrow. A call with the family at 11 o'clock because they celebrate New Year's Eve at 11 o'clock with the time difference. So I'm going to wish everyone back home a Happy New Year. And then afterwards, I'm going to take a rest and be ready for the 1st of January for the quarterfinals.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championship.